There we go.
It's recording.
How do you stop it?
Maybe you click the red button again?
Okay! First you take a chicken breast and you want to make it thin, so I'd cut it in half. There we go. I'm deboning. I'm assuming you're going to use whole breast, but so I'm going to turn it up. Did you get that? I'm just wondering if you got that, because I'll do one more. So first you rip the skin off. Can you see that? There you go. Camera's hanging from my neck, so it's not going to be the best quality, but it's my Julia Child's impression. First you take the chicken, then you rip it. There you go. There, it's breasts off. See how easy that was? Oh, you missed that, I think. Anyway, so you have the fillet there. Oh, it's fine. It's funnier this way. And I'm just going to cut this in half. Lengthwise. There you go. This is dangling from my neck. I don't know if I said that already. Alright. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to do the rest of the chicken and then I'll show you what else to do. Okay, so I got all my chicken breasts done. They're half breast, then nice and thin. And to avoid making a big mess with a whole bunch of stuff, I'm going to use the same bowl. So you crack an egg into here. There you go. Whoop. And then just mix it up in there. There we go. A little bit of salt. And throw away the rest. And a little bit of pepper. There we go. And just coat the chicken in the egg. Like that. There we go. Now we're gonna preheat a pan. Not that one. This one. Nice big pan. And some vegetable oil. Not too much, but you want to be able to cook your chicken, right? There we go. Probably about 2 tablespoons or so. And we're going to get some flour. Flour. So a low budget cooking show. There we go. Some flour. And we'll get the chicken back here. And probably want something to put the chicken in after. Like a plate. Or no, corning. Yeah, I remember we talked about corning. So I just have to find one. There we go. Something like that. We'll put the chicken in there after. And then we'll cover it. Once we get our sauce done, we'll cover it and put it in the oven. So we've got the pan going here. It's almost hot. Almost hot. See, you can feel the heat there. See, oil will start it'll look like little worms swimming around in the oil when it starts to get hot. So that's when you know. And could start getting our vegetables ready, but I'll do that after the chicken's cooked. So I'll just put you on standby here. Hang on. There, see what I mean by the oil getting kind of wormy? Anyway, so it's hot enough now. And we'll start putting the chicken in. So just take your raw chicken and coat it in flour. And probably need a little bit more oil in there. You don't want to cook the chicken right through, because we're going to put it in the oven afterwards. So you got the idea. We're going to brown them I'll come back in a second. So we're just browning the chicken a little bit, as you can see. And like I said, you don't want to cook it right through. You just want to brown it, like sear it on the outside, and then take it off. See right there, it's still a little raw. That's fine, because the sauce and the steam and the finishing cooking will finish it off. So, and it'll come out nice and tender and juicy inside. And that one's really thick, so let that one go a little longer. Really hot, you don't want it to be really hot where it's burning the flour. So you can go down to medium heat if the pan's really hot. Okay, I'm going to finish the chicken off. Okay, so I cut up about a cup and a half of onions, about a cup of button mushrooms, and I doubt you're going to use shiitakes ever, but if you do, the stems are very woody. So you want to cut them really thin if you use them at all. And cut up the mushrooms like way thicker than you would these button mushrooms. These are thinner and these are thicker because they're much nicer when they're thick. And, well yeah, I should measure how much chicken we used. I know this is pretty gross, but 1.6 or 1.5 kilograms of chicken. And, we'll fry this up in a second. So we probably have about a total of 2 cups of mushrooms, cup and a half of onion, and we're just gonna throw in the oil we cooked the chicken in, even with the flour, because the flour will make the sauce thick. So don't worry about using a little bit of dirty oil. Here's our chicken. See, it's ready to be doused with sauce downstairs. So we want to let the pan get a little hot before we put our stuff in. That's just the way you do things around here. I'm going to put a little bit more oil, but this time I'm going to use some olive oil because olive oil has a nice flavor, but don't let it burn. And we're going to just saute the mushrooms and the onions until they get nice and soft. I'm going to get some herbs, some oregano and thyme, so you're going to see me throw in some green stuff, and maybe some garlic chives. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in there. Salt. Not too much. Pinch. Pepper. Okay, we'll let that saute for a bit, and then we'll start adding our liquid. Okay, so I've added a little bit of garlic, about 2 cloves, some fresh herbs, which you probably won't use, but I will. You see how it's starting to get translucent here? I might add a little bit more oil because it needs it. Okay, I'm going to start adding the wine soon. I'm just going to let it saute a little longer. And adding wine to sauteed onion, mushroom, blah 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 is called deglazing. Okay, well here's the bad news. I don't have any chicken stock, so I can't use that. It's frozen. So I'm going to improvise. And I don't have any cornstarch. So normally I take about a tablespoon, a big tablespoon, and add it to cold water. Yeah. If you don't have chicken stock, you can take a tablespoon of, consomme crap, which is what I'm going to use. A tablespoon of that. Normally you put this in hot water, so you might want to do that separately. So you need about a cup, I would say a cup to 2 cups of, we'll start with 1 cup, see how that works out. See how clumpy it gets? It's better if it's hot. It's very clumpy. I don't like that. And flour. I'm just going to pour some flour on the onions and mushrooms. That'll thicken up the sauce. So I'm going to just pour some red wine in there to deglaze the pan. red wine. That is about half a cup. And you want to get it really going here. I'm going to turn up the heat. See how it's really thick? You want this really liquidy. So I'm going to add a little soy sauce just to darken it up and give a little bit of flavor, a little more flavor. Do this sometimes. You can add even ketchup for some sweetness, or sugar, brown sugar. I might do that. Okay, well this is on max, so it's got to start boiling. I'm going to add some brown sugar. Because the red wine is not so sweet. You want to cook off the alcohol. Not too much, like maybe a tablespoon. That's pretty good. Maybe a little more salt. Be careful with the salt, because you can really screw it up if you go too far. So do it a little at a time. My chef used to say you gotta cook in layers. Flavor every step of the way. There you go. That's plenty. And you see how it's thickening up, and it's nice and liquidy and it's boiling. And now I'm gonna just throw it on top of the chicken, throw it in the oven for 10 minutes, and I think we're gonna be good to go, ready to eat. Here we go. There. Running out of batteries, so that's what the finished product will look like, just cooked. And that's it.